Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dorian. Just another little vlog here on what's going on with me in my little world. So I've made some changes to my setup with a new microphone. My last one broke. It's the same model, so it's a cheapie, but it's better than my laptop microphones. So hopefully it sounds good again. I don't know what happened to the last one. It just started getting really bad. And I've got some extra monitors for better recording and editing so that I'm, doing stuff off screen with my recording and whatnot, and set things up and using OBS. It's working out great. Next things on my agenda for me is I need to purchase a mic stand so that it's off my desk, and some video input devices like I mentioned in one of my other vlogs, and just so that I could record some hardware outputs so that I'm not doing virtual machines all the time. I'm going to get some of that stuff. And at the same time, while I'm shopping for that, I'm shopping for what I think I picked out for my giveaway for when I hit 1,000 subscribers. So speaking of, I've had a lot of growth on the channel lately, doing well at 726. But I've noticed that 89% of people who are viewing my videos are not subscribers, which is strange. So I don't know if maybe it's just some of the people who are subscribed to me aren't logged in or whatever. So to help improve my subscriber rate, I've been putting in more work into editing. I've added the music, as you've heard in some of my videos. I also don't know if the music is not loud enough. Is it too loud? I don't know. I try to balance it out really well. I'll listen to it several times and then adjust every time. So I'm EQing my microphone, the input, and using nicer looking video transitions and doing some panning and zooming. This last video of mine here as a good example. If you've watched it, doing some zooming in on different things. If I can find a spot. Yeah, like here, some nice fluid like animating and whatnot, just to make it more enjoyable, and so that it's clearer. If you're just looking in a little window like this, you can actually see what I'm doing without having to go full screen or make it bigger. And then some panning, and yeah, you can watch the videos. Yeah, there you go. So moving around. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff, and I'm spending more time making nicer thumbnails. So I don't know if you've noticed, I'm making them a little nicer with bigger text, and I'm making this little colored bar on the side. I don't know why. I was like, it needs something. It needs something that you see a thumbnail and right away you're like, oh, that's a Dorian.Slash video. So I've got like this purpley color for like how-tos and whatever. And then I've got this green color for the reviews. So if you go look on my channel, just stop that. So you can see all my reviews have this little green kind of edge to it just on the side. I haven't done them all. And then my how-tos have this like purplish, pinkish, purplish type thing. So I'm actually going and working my way back now one at a time and redoing them and adding this and redoing better text so that they look nicer and whatever. So just little things to attract people to my channel and hopefully get people to subscribe, because you guys who are listening to this, obviously you're probably some of my subscribers, and thank you so much for subscribing and for listening to my rants. But I think a lot of people maybe skim past some of these things, so we'll see what happens. Some new thumbnails and whatever, maybe attract some more people to actually click that subscribe button. So other than that, what do I have? Yes. So Scion. I have not forgotten about Scion. I know that it was supposed to be out the other weekend, but things happened and I was running short on time to do this kind of stuff. And so it was either do a couple of videos, work on Scion. It was a little bit of a rock and a hard place type thing for me. So I did a couple of more videos because I can do them in chunks, and it's hard to kind of just sit down and go through a whole distro, especially programming stuff. And not that it's a whole lot or overly complicated, but there's a couple of things. So one issue that I'm having running on hardware is you get a pop-up in the corner, and it's the VirtualBox drivers complaining that it can't access VirtualBox. So I've gone through, and in the welcome screen now, it will first pop up this initial driver setup. So the code here that I have so far, I don't have it set to actually detect for real if it's running on a virtual machine or not. I cheated it to tell it, to make it think that it's never on a virtual machine so that it would run this code. So in the future, when this is done and I change it, this will only show up if you're not on a virtual machine. So if you install on hardware, it'll just say it's detected, it's not running on a virtual machine, yada, yada, yada. And then you can click uninstall the drivers. I'm going to say no. And then it's going to uninstall the VirtualBox drivers, and then you could restart, and then it's not going to complain anymore. And I'm going to go one further, and I'm going to include an ability to install the NVIDIA drivers a lot easier as well. So if you have a NVIDIA card, I'm not going to do AMD because some of the machines that I have with AMDs ATI or AMD, they're very, very old, and they're not going to be relevant to hardware today. And I think with the age of them, I'm not even sure if today's drivers will work, because there was a couple of years there where AMD's support kind of just dropped off for Linux. So I'm not going to go there. If popularity ramps up and people do want that option, then that will definitely be an option. But for now, it's just going to be the Intel graphics. It's going to remove VirtualBox drivers and the option to install NVIDIA, because I have more NVIDIA machines and I have newer NVIDIA machines. And I know this is supposed to be something that will run great on old hardware, but I have to start somewhere. I can't start so broad and try and make sure it all works. So I have to start somewhere. So I'll start with the Intel and then sneak in NVIDIA, and then I'll start working my way back and work my way over towards the ATI and AMD stuff. So yeah, this script to remove the VirtualBox is pretty easy. It's actually the welcome screen that first detects it, and it's just running an LSPCI command and looking for VirtualBox. Super easy, just runs in the background, and then if it gets something, then yes, it's a VirtualBox. If not, no, it's not. Super easy. It's not that complicated at all. And I'm gonna post this up as well. This will be on my website for Scion. All of my other stuff is there as well. So Iron, which is the update utility up here, this is also on my OSDN page. I was going to say SourceForge. It's also on my OSDN page in the Git repo. You can download it and run it on your computer if you want. It should run just fine as long as you have the requirements. So, the Python stuff, the widgets for Python, it'll all run. And it's mostly commented. This one's not commented very well, but Iron is pretty well commented. Most of it is for me, so that's why the comments for me are like at the end of the line. Like, it's not that important for me because I know what I'm working on. Once I start getting people who want to contribute to the project and they start, putting in their own code or making changes or improvements or whatever, then yes, that's really important for it to be all hashed out and all commented so that people who are looking at it know what they're looking for. But at this point, when it's just me, it's fine. I'll leave it as it is. And one thing that you can download if you wanted to try, I was going to do a little quickie video on this, and it's my Leave panel. So if I click on leave, and it opens this little animated panel where you can restart and shut down and log out. And if you click off of it, it goes away. It's this script. It's scionleave.py, which I wrote, and it's not very long. The animated part might take a second for you to wrap your head around, but it's basically just a timer that adds and subtracts the height and the position until it reaches its destination, and then the timer ends. So it's really not that complicated once you look at it and you're like, ah. But another option is also to use Zenity, which I used to use in my really old distro. So if you go, I think I have it installed here. Zenity. I do. So Zenity does some things like you can go calendar and it'll pop up a calendar. You could pick a date and it'll return it to your script. Or you could do file selection. And then you can actually go in and you can pick a file and it'll return the file back to your script or back to your program. It's really cool. You can have simple things like yes and no buttons on a thing. So yeah, Zenity, check it out, install that. And I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna, let me see here. Old pre-Scion. This is one of the first. Yeah, you see Scion 17.10. This was way before I actually decided to make it a distro. So I can show you a quick example here. So where was I? Yep. So the code, everything's going to be available online. Everything is available online now. So if you want to contribute, if you want to go check it out, if you want to just learn, or if you want to see what it is, go ahead and check it out. If you actually downloaded Scion, or if you want to try it, if you go in Scion to the root and then opt Scion, these are all the files that I've created for Scion. So there's Iron, which is the update utility up here, and the control panel, which is this control panel, and the remove VirtualBox, which I just wrote, the leave panel, and the welcome screen. So everything's in here. So if you want to go in, check it out, play with it, have at it. Let's just see what's going on with the other one here. So this is, will it go full screen? Yes. So this is my very first attempt at a finished distro, which I was running on hardware. And this was way before, it's really messy. This was way before I started actually doing Linux, or not Linux, Scion for real. And I decided, okay, enough people asked me for Scion, so I'm going to do it. And a lot of things are different than Scion. So I was using Thunar, I was using Terminator, just because they were different. And when I started playing with Scion, I started realizing, okay, I really have to think about their memory usage and their dependencies and whatnot. So I started looking a lot at the resources that they use, which is why I made some changes to the applications that were included. So, and then really OpenBox, the settings were literally like hard old settings. OB menu was still here. So a lot of stuff that I stripped away. And this was based on Ubuntu 16.04. And what I was going to show you is on this one, when I say shut down, I just get a yes or no. Do you want to shut down? Yes or no? And it's just, all it's doing is running this script here. And this is Zenity. So question, shut down, yes or no? If yes, shut down now. Super easy. But with Scion, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something a little cooler. And I'm going to do the little animated pop-up thing at the bottom, which works really well. So shut that down. Oh, and yeah, new little splash screen courtesy of Carl Schneider, who's been doing a lot of graphics for Scion. Big thanks to him. And I've been super busy with everything. I know that over the weekend and last week I was able to just boom, 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 video after video. But then after all the editing and doing thumbnails and everything, I was just like, wow, this is a lot of work. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm going to start switching a little bit more towards doing more review type stuff. Sorry, more how-to type stuff and less reviews. I found I was kind of not stuck per se, but I was kind of doing review after review after review, and I wandered away from doing how-tos, which is what I started doing, and I just ran away with too many reviews. So I'm still going to do reviews, but I'm going to do better reviews and a lot more how-tos and better how-tos. And on my radar also is my Linux from Scratch series, which I am going to redo from scratch. I'm going to do my Linux from scratch. And it's going to take a little while. I want it to be nice, and I want the editing to be awesome. I want everything to be very clear and concise, and I want people to be able to follow along and have no questions at all. They can just follow along, do what I do, and it'll just work. So we'll see how that works out. But this 32-minute video might turn out to be a two-part, 30-minute videos. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. I'm scripting. I'm writing a bunch of stuff down, and I'm going to do the best that I can to make it as nice as possible. Everybody loves this video. This is what made me come back to make more videos because it just got so popular. Well, I mean, if you Google how to do it, how to make a Linux desktop, boom, that's my video. So, and if you type create Linux desktop, if I can type it, trying to reach around my microphone, which is why I need a stand. Yeah, it comes up again. And in YouTube, if you search create Linux desktop distro, custom Linux desktop, boom, it's there again. So, I mean, it's there. So that's why it's always getting a lot of views. I mean, it's only 23,000 views, but when you're thinking about people who use Linux, who want to create a desktop from scratch, it's not a lot of people. There's more people that use Linux than want to create one from scratch. And there's not a lot of people who use Linux compared to Mac or Windows. So 23,000, I guess, is a lot. But anyways, that's all I got for now. Don't forget, guys, if you have a couple bucks to spare, head on over to my Patreon. I'll put a link in the description. I've got one patron right now, so I'm getting $2 a month, but he's an awesome dude, and thanks very much for that. This way I can get my own domain, and I can put some stuff on there like Scion and some of these scripts and whatever, and I can get unlimited internet because I have to kind of monitor my internet because I don't have unlimited. So get unlimited, download ISOs, and do a lot more reviews, a lot more work. And as always, you can also follow me over on Twitter at Dorian.Slash. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. And until next time, bash on.